Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I am Julie Riley, the social media manager here at Streamyard, and I am so excited that you are joining me for another episode of Live Stream Impact. This week, we are going to talk about community, Facebook groups, building your community using live streaming, and how to really incorporate some of the techniques that you can use with live video into that community building side and managing the community. So I want to talk first, though, before we bring up our guest, about what we're doing in our Facebook community right now. April is happening. If you're a part of our community, you've probably seen this going on. If you're not, this is a great time to jump in and join the community. It's not too late to participate and get entered in for the prizes and contests that are going on. But we are doing VEDA, video every day in April. And the idea behind VEDA is to get you consistent in creating content to build a solid, strong foundation that then you can take that and incorporate your own schedule. So you may continue going every day after April, or you may go, you know what? That was a good foundation. That was a good start, but now I need to kind of back off and develop my own schedule, whether it's weekly or a couple times a week, whatever works for you and for your schedule once you've gotten that solid foundation created. We are doing weekly prize drawings, and we are also doing a grand prize at the end. The grand prize is going to be an amazing prize. It's going to be a surprise, though, so we're not telling you what it is yet. You do have to participate. Every day in the community, there is a daily thread that will go up that has the date on it, so you'll know that's the day to participate. And all you have to do is drop the links to the content that you're creating in that thread, and you'll be counted for that day's entry. And at the end of each week, we'll do some drawings, and then at the end of the month, we're going to do the big grand prize. So it's a lot of fun. And even though we are 19 days into the month, you can still get in and get participating and get that content created. So make sure that you are in the group. Let me drop the link for you on where to go. It is the Streamyard community on Facebook, and that's all you have to look for. Request to join, say that you heard about it on Livestream Impact, and we will get you added to the community, and you can start getting your content in there and creating that. The community is also a great place where we have people asking questions and helping each other out, giving advice about streaming or about the StreamYard tool, ways to improve your streams. Because at the end of the day, we want you to level up on how you're creating your content and create better content. So we want you to be a part of that. With that, I want to bring up our guest, Deb Mitchell. Hello, Deb. How are you?
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me, Julie.
Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Deb Mitchell. I'm the community manager for AgoraPulse, which is, if you guys don't know what that is, it is a social media scheduling tool. I've been working in the social media field for, I don't know, years. I owned a small boutique agency. I'm located in the beautiful Napa Valley, I love building community. So I'm super excited to be here to talk to you about that.
Yeah. Scott, you know, they caught me this weekend, and there was just nothing I could do about it. So they're still letting me go live, but I've been caught. It happens. I love that. So yes, AgoraPulse. I mean, we use it here at StreamYard. I've been using AgoraPulse for many years. It is one of my favorite tools for managing your content. And then with that, you have really been able to build up some awesome communities within you guys' forums and sites and stuff. So let me first put up, for anybody who's interested in learning more about AgoraPulse, that is where you go. I did spell. I was like, did I spell it right? Yes. So go to agorapulse.com, and it's where you can learn more about their community management tool, social scheduling, social listening, all of the things. It's one of my favorites.
It's great for monitoring comments in your communities. I love it for that. And we have a lot of fans that love the reporting. For those of you that need to do reporting, you might consider that tool for that also.
Yes. Oh, the reports are phenomenal. So let's talk about community, and what community really means to you.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people think community equals Facebook group, but really, community is is much more than that. I think it's like your super fans. It's for a company or a brand. It is the people that love your product, love your service. That like you guys that are all here. You're all part of the community
Right.
from Streamyard. It could be something that is done online. It can also be something, there could be a physical component of it also.
Yeah. So do you kind of divide then your community up into your group community, your live viewer community, or do you just really consider it all your community?
Well, I think that with so many different areas, we consider it all our entire community. But there are obviously niche things that we do in specific communities. Like for us at AgoraPulse, we have a very specific agency community. It's called Agency Love. It's just for our customers. They're vetted as they come into the community, and it's all about giving them a love and support in the group. We don't create a lot of content for that group. We answer questions that are agency oriented. We try to help. One of the things that's magical about community is when members in the community start to help each other.
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for our different agencies to ask each other questions about how they use the tool, how they're managing their pricing, various things that agencies worry about. So that's one of our communities. We also have another community that supports one of our live shows, which is our Social Pulse Weekly that Jennifer Watson does. And we have a Facebook group that goes with that. And we do a lot of special things in that group. For example, we have a book club that we're currently running in that group.
I saw that, and I love the book club, and I love the content that's coming along with the book clubs, to really encourage everybody, again, to kind of just level up, to go read the book, then have the discussions around it, and build that community involvement around bettering yourself.
Well, and it's super cool because we've been able to bring some of the authors on. And so the authors love to come on to get exposure to a new group of people that maybe that they don't normally wouldn't get to talk to. And plus, with the magic of StreamYard, we get to bring their questions up on the screen, and their questions get asked directly to the author. So it makes reading the book and the leveling up that you're talking about, Julie, it makes it like a fun experience because we've got the video part of it that comes in, as well as reading the book and chatting about it in the group. So it's a great activity that you can do in the group.
So how would how would you view building your community benefit somebody who is a live streamer, who does this and is going live, whether they're going live for a business or going live for a hobby, but building this community aspect around their live videos?
Well, I think if you're just going live to a page, that's great. But going live to a page and to your group, you allow that intimacy that of your super fans, the people that follow you, that like you. Going live into a group, it gives you that option to have more side conversations. It also I think doing the live for video makes it so much more personal, I think. Yes. And you start to build that personal relationship that you start to see. For us, we have some of the same people that show up week after week to our shows, and I'm sure you guys do too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's the building of the community.
Right. And that's what I love about it is you start to see the same faces, the same names. And you're going, I've never met this person, but they've been on my stream week after week, and they're here, and they're supporting me, and they're supporting my business, supporting our company. And then now, how can we support them? How can we help bring them content that's going to make them better and get them learning, get them leveling up? Because it's kind of that circular effect there.
Yeah, exactly. So many people work by themselves, whether they're on a big team or they are just solopreneurs, but a lot of us are still working from our houses, right?
Yes.
And having a community and, having a place like at Agorapulse, we were able to provide resources to our community. And by having this group, we were able to hear what they needed. So it was a good way for them to give feedback. In our agency group, which is one of the groups that I specifically run, it's awesome because, if someone's having like a technical problem, they come in there, and even though it would probably be better if they went directly to support, it's good for them. They love hearing when other people are like, oh no, do it like this, it works much better, or
Right.
try this instead. And that's the magic of community, is when the community gathers around a topic or a question or a problem or a person and supports them.
So, what are some tips you would have for somebody who may be going live and has their live community, but is wanting to expand that and maybe build that group, or really find a place where they can all connect and start to support and help each other? How would you suggest they really go about starting that, other than just saying start a group on Facebook, but building that and building it to something that's, valuable?
I mean, you have to tell people about it, right? Like, how many of us do something, and I'm totally guilty of this, you just do it and you start doing things and you don't bother to tell anyone that you're doing it, right?
Right.
I mean, so just using the graphics on your feed, on your show, and saying, hey, we've got a group. We just formed a group. It's just starting out. So we'd love for you to come join us. It's in the very beginning stages. So you're going to be there to be able to help form what happens in the group. You're going to be able to meet people. So, obviously putting it on things and telling people is a massive thing. And then once you get the group started, look for opportunities, a contest, a challenge, all those kind of things. And by offering those kind of things, that funnels them into your group, and that will help with the group engagement and help the group start to grow.
Right. And we love doing that at Streamyard, finding those fun little challenges and contests, whether we've done Fan Fridays where I'll be like, hey, leave us a picture of you streaming and you're entered in a contest to win some Streamyard merch. Or right now we're doing the Veda.
Exactly.
We've done send us a why you're thankful for Streamyard video. We did that around Thanksgiving and had a huge prize giveaway for that one. And it's those fun little things that you can do to just build your community and get them engaging and get them interacting.
Well, I have this theory, and I don't know if this is a good time to put this in there, to put this out there. I have this crazy thing that after being involved in communities for many, many, many years, actually going way, way, way back into the bulletin board days, I was and AOL days, I was involved in communities. But I have 5 things, and I call them the 5 M's of community that you need. Number 1, you need mentor. So in other words, you're teaching, you're educating, you're bringing in guest experts, you're talking about important issues. Number 2, there's usually some mothering that happens. It's like celebrating the members, it's encouraging the members, it's giving them a push when they need the push, and it's making people feel special. It's like the stuff you were talking about. Like you're making, the docs feel happy. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Then you guys will love this one. My third M is mixed drinks. And this is where you need to create fun. The contests, the challenges, the shout outs, giving love to your super fans, and making it enjoyable for people to come hang out in the group. And that will really add a lot to your group. And, when we can get together, when we're back to meeting people in person, it's those in-person meetups.
Yes.
Right? We did some pretty cool things at Social Media Marketing World. We had a meetup of our community, and that was awesome. People love that kind of thing. So that's the mixed drinks aspect of it. Okay, then there's always the part that we really don't want to talk about, but as a community manager, we have to. It's the mediation, right? We have to smooth over the feathers. You have to craft a really great group culture. You have to be willing to set the rules down of this is what we do here, and this is what's accepted, and this is what's expected. And establishing those group norms are really, really important. And then my final one is magic. And this is where you're showing the behind the scenes stuff, and you're keeping things fresh, and you're creating accountability like you guys are doing with your special event this month.
Yeah.
It's the organization in your community. And it's the graphics that you're creating, and it's the guides that you're using. All that kind of taking advantage of those things in a Facebook community is part of the magic that makes the group go well. So I hope that helps.
No, I think that is perfect. And we'll have to get that written down, and we'll put that in for you guys in the comments. Maybe Deb can come drop it after the show.
Sure, I can drop it in after.
But I think that is, there we go. Scott just dropped it. So
all right, Scott, thanks for the comment. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I think that's perfect. And I think you really touched on a good one there. The one we don't like, the mediation, that you have to set the ground rules for your group, and you have to be willing to stick by them. And it's hard because you'll get people who will message, I know, at least I do, that are just like, well, but I want to post that. And I'm like, I know you do, but we have 20,000 plus other people who also want to post that. And if we let one, then we have to let all, and then it's the wild, wild west and chaos. And so we kind of just have to lay it down going, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm going to have to say no, because otherwise then it just goes to complete chaos. And the bigger your group gets, the harder that can get to keep that reign.
Yeah, and as much as we want to if we're talking about a Facebook group specifically, as much as we love to hate on Facebook for all the things that they do to us when we don't expect it, they are working really super hard on trying to make the group experience better. And I know they will continue to support that, just with the with the different they have a certification now for community managers that you can do. They have special groups. If you are an admin for a larger group, they do have special groups you can join that are run by Facebook, where they actually listen to you, and they they take polls, and they provide resources and that kind of things to help you with some of that mediation, and with new Facebook specific tools that they're giving us. So that helps some, but it is a hard part of the whole thing, is the mediation.
It is. So let's talk a little bit about using the live then to help build those communities, whether it's a Facebook group or whether you're going, you know what, my community is a Twitch gaming community or a YouTube community, whoever's tuning into my lives. What are some suggestions you have for really strengthening that community focus on those?
I think consistency is super important. So, doing something on a regular basis is good. So I think trying to create a relationship with the viewers that are watching with you. And, when we have comments that are available, seeing those comments, like we've seen Scott in the comments, we could call him out. Timothy obviously is in the comments, Alex, acknowledging those people, bringing their comments up on your stream. People love to be in the highlights. And so that's a super great way to have them comment more, because they love that you brought them up. And we all want more comments because it raises the level of engagement. So, I think that is a great way to do it. Does that answer your question?
No, totally.
Okay.
So let's answer. Timothy here asked, do you think it's a good idea to have a chat group moderator? So I'm assuming in your Facebook groups, a moderator in there.
Well, one of the things I do on almost all of the Agora Pulse live shows is I'm not on camera. I'm not the camera. I'm not the video person. We've got Jennifer Watson who does that, and Scott Ayers does that. But what I do is I go into the comments and I support. So I'm there welcoming everybody. I'm there helping to drop links in. I'm madly Googling some book that someone mentioned so that everyone has the link to that.
Yes. So, and I will say you are amazing at that. You are on point and fast.
Thank you. I love doing that. And I as Scott made a note, lots of times I'll make notes on key points that are being brought up. So yes, I think you should have somebody in the comments. I think it helps a ton. And it takes the pressure off. like if we had somebody in here with us, Julie, there would be more interaction in the comments, and Julie would be concentrating on me and not worrying about welcoming and saying hi and all those things in the comments as much. So I think it's good to have a team of people.
It is. I think here at StreamYard, we've kind of managed to, most of us really kind of do it on our own, and it's worked really well. But it is golden when you have that person in there that can be dropping all of those links. We have so many live shows, though, that we'd have to have a full-time person just to do that.
It's entire, you guys are a different animal than most people are, though. They're, most of the people that are watching are probably not in the same situation that you are in.
Right.
So, I think it just adds another dimension. You don't need to do it, but does it make it more fun? And are there side conversations? One of the things I do is I run a Twitter chat, which has no video, but it's about welcoming the people and building the community wherever you are. And then once people buy into what you're doing and they start to like you and think that you have value, they start to follow you other places.
Exactly.
Right. And that's building community.
So I love this question from Mary. Yeah. She said,
hey, Mary.
Yes, I know. Mary's going to be a guest on here in a couple weeks, so we'll have to stay tuned. We're going to be talking about some LinkedIn with her. She said, what do you think about letting someone take over your group for a day or a week? Kind of doing, that full takeover.
I think it adds, that goes into the mixed drinks part, right? It's the fun. It's fun to do that. And of course you should pick somebody that you trust, and that, you lay out the expectations of what you expect that's going to happen beforehand so that no one gets mad at each other about it. But, it adds value to your group. It adds new information. It changes up the vibe, which is good. So I'm all for it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. I love this point from Chuck, and this goes back to we were talking about that moderation that can be painful, but you got to do. He said a huge Facebook group, 40,000 members, had to close itself down a couple years ago because people wouldn't follow the rules. Yep. And that's really it. And so when you set those ground rules early and you continue to stick with them as you build and get bigger, it's easier to just say, these are the rules. And we, like in our group, because we have so many, posts do not automatically post. We approve all of our posts that come in. And the reason why is because otherwise we would end up with so much spam and content that is against the rules that would make the group invaluable. People would just stop interacting. They'd be like, this group is just nothing but spammed videos of other people's streams, and we can't actually access any content that's usable anymore.
Yeah, I have a group that I moderate, and it is oh my gosh, the spam is but we have the post approval turned on, but like I'm approving like 1 or 2 posts out of 200.
Right.
It's crazy. That part, I wish there was more that we could do about that to like not get the original spam.
Yeah.
That would be
it
great.
Does look like Facebook's working on some tools that will help with that, which is their new moderation system that will eliminate some of that before it even goes into your approved process. Now, there was one area where it was like, no videos, and we have a no video share policy. However, there are some we do that are certain ones that are educational, stuff like that, to the community. So I was like, well, I can't turn that one on because then it eliminates the few that do get approved. So I was like, we'll just still have to filter through those.
Yeah. No, but
they're working on some good tools.
There is a fair amount of filtering that you have to do, but I think it's worth it because then that makes the group, the quality of the group worthy of people's time, and they're willing to contribute to the group.
Yeah. So they said, what qualifies as a regular basis to build a community, particularly if you want to build just beyond your streams? So I think that's really going to depend on your goals and your community. I think, establishing that weekly stream, that weekly live that's going to set your schedule, and people are going to know, okay, Mondays at 1 p.m. Central Time, StreamYard goes live with Live Stream Impact, and this is their kind of topics and their kind of show. Or Thursdays at, 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to go live with our community spotlight, our town hall, depending on the day. So you can start to see this is when they go live and this is what they're going live with. So I may be interested in the town hall and the Learn with Streamyard, but I may not be interested in this other show that they do. You can start to know when you want to show up to their content.
Well, and if I could just add to that, part of the magic that I talked about is you can use a tool like addevent.com, which allows you to subscribe to a calendar. So we're in the process of Agorapulse of building an Agorapulse calendar that you can subscribe to that will show all of our live shows. And it just puts it onto your Google Calendar on its own layer, if you will, that you can turn on and off. And so I love it because I have multiple calendars I subscribe to that do this. And like, for example, Stephanie Liu, like when she's doing something, like I have her calendar, and if I'm available, I pop in and watch it. So yeah, you guys might consider doing something like that. That would help your community also.
Exactly. And having a place, which is something that we're working on in a new design that's coming, that will have your schedule as well. So if somebody maybe doesn't want to add the whole calendar, somewhere they can just pop and see the schedule if you've got a busy schedule. But otherwise, if you're, doing that one show and you're going, okay, my show is going to be Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Every Wednesday, I've established that as my show's time. And you're going to start to build that frequency and that consistency that your audience is then going to go, ooh, it's Wednesday at 2 p.m. I want to tune in, because they're going to remember that that's when you're going live. And that's not to say you don't periodically have a spur of the moment live at a different time. That kind of adds in that fun little extra bonus element. But you want to find the consistent schedule so they know when.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So this one said, I love moderating. I have a spreadsheet for the main channels to keep all the links that typically come up. Spreadsheets are so glorious and helpful with that.
I totally agree. I've got, that's one part of my system. I even have one. Now with Agorapulse, you can have a lot of saved replies, but of course we're not able to reply in groups comments because of the API. But what I do in my spreadsheet is, like, I have a spreadsheet of saved group replies that I just go to the spreadsheet and I just pull it out, and then I just edit it real quick to make it more personal. But I don't have to like think about, oh, great, now what do I say to this person? If you have the same thing that keeps coming up over and over again, it's a great way to handle that. So thumbs up for the spreadsheets.
Exactly. And it does, it saves time. And if your group grows and you start bringing in moderators to help, then there's that element. So we've got some moderators that help with our community, and we have another Facebook group that is a private hidden one that is just for us to communicate back and forth with each other, and they can come ask questions and say, hey, what do I do with this one? Or things like that. Or have you seen this? Is this going on with the tools? So we can start to, answer those questions behind the scenes. So I've had a couple people that have commented on my mic. It is the Shure MV7. So I'll let you guys know that's what I'm using. So I've seen a couple comments over there that, thank you, I'm glad you love the mic. I do too. It's my newest addition to my setup. So totally off kilter and off topic there. But so active admins, moderators, the post approval. When you're building that community, I know Agorapulse makes this real easy on the comment side of the lives to go in. What is your recommendation then on responding to people who maybe were there live and that the show host interacted with them a lot while you were live? Do you then go back as a moderator and respond to them typed out? Or do you kind of just go, you know what, I know that the show host interacted with them, and you worry about ones that maybe came in later for the replay?
It depends on how many comments you have. I mean, some of the shows generate so many comments that we try to, it's interesting the way we have it set up is our show hosts are actually the ones that go in and deal with those comments. And, I think that Scott and Jennifer both do a really great job at that. And, I've seen them just heart things, but I've also seen them come in and add other comments. And, if you really want to deepen your community and you were really impressed with somebody that was in your community that was very, chatty on the side and you really appreciated that, after the show's over, reach out to them in a DM and be like, I really appreciate it. The links that you helped drop in the show comments, or like your comments were really thoughtful and, very helpful, and really appreciate your engagement. So you're taking it beyond to the next level of that person that's going to get a message from you is going to be super excited about, and they're going to show up the next week at your next show.
I love that. What are your thoughts on your live content, going live to all your pages, platforms, groups, or to having content that is just specific for the group?
I mean, there's something to be said about a lot of reach, right? Which is what a tool like Streamyard is amazing at, right? Because you can go to all the places that you want to go, which makes it so much easier than having to, do these individual videos. But people want to feel special. There's a reason why there's a VIP for things, right? They want that special experience. And so if you can make that, that mixed drinks, that magic that happens in your group, that's something different. I mean, that's a good thing, I think. It depends on the size of your group. If you have a really small group and you're just building your group, probably not. You probably want to bring that out broader. But as your group starts to grow and that there will be engagement in your group, I think it's okay to do those kind of things. In fact, I would encourage doing those kind of things.
Yeah, I love it. Andrew's like, yes, people want to feel special.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, and I think it's kind of a fun way to give that extra behind the scenes of that know, like, and trust element that now they're like, hey, we got to know a side of you that nobody else got to know. We got to see something. You shared it with just us.
I mean, think about Apple and people, people want to know what's going on with Apple and all the rumors. I mean, Mac Rumors was like a huge website at the time, right? Like we would talk, this was before live video that we could do ourselves, right? We were dependent on the television station to do this back in those days, right? But like the anticipation and the finding things out early. For example, I'll go back to my group, the Agency Love group. When I know something's happening, I like to go to that group and I like to go there like sooner than we would go public other places and be like, hey guys, I want to just give you the first heads up that this is coming out on Friday, or this is happening, or we're working on this, or those kind of things where people feel like they're feeling special and they're feeling like I think with live video, we get to give to everybody and we're talking. You and I are interacting, but we want to give to the people in the audience and we want to answer their questions, right? And that interaction that happens, that can really only happen over the live video like this, that people love that. People love to be able to ask their direct questions.
No, I think that's exactly it. Timothy said this was kind of perfect. If I have someone who's very inactive, I'll ask them to join a show where they can ask a question to a guest. And that's kind of a good way to then start to build up those people who, haven't maybe been so active, and you can start to get them active again as well.
Yeah. Well, and actually he's saying interactive, not inactive.
Oh, yep, you're right. Helps if I read. but the other way would have worked too.
The other way works too, but I don't want you to miss what Timothy's saying in that sense that, having somebody that's super interactive, okay, if they're commenting a lot in your comments, maybe they're the person that you bring onto your team to help in the chats. They're there anyway. Send them some swag and say, hey, we love you. Keep it up.
Right. Well, and that's what we've utilized some of our very active members in some of the moderation help, in some other ways that they're getting some other perks for exactly that, staying super active. John said we do a member spotlight each week on the show. Yeah, that's a great one too.
That's a great
one. I love
one.
that. Yeah. He's like, great idea. Yeah. I love that. And I love that, these are the ways to interact and to start to say, hey, you ask your community, ask them what they want and what they want more of, because they won't be afraid to tell you. Trust me,
Well, but sometimes they don't tell you. Okay, let's talk about the real, let's get down to when your community doesn't interact with you.
Well, that's
you
true. There are, yeah.
and they don't interact. So what you need to do is try different ways. Mm-hmm. So if you ask a question and it's a question that is going to take a lot of time for someone to answer you back, you're going to get less responses and less interaction than if you were to do a poll and you were to put a couple things in that were answers that they could simply vote on and leave the poll open and let them add to the poll. You'll find that you're going to get more interaction to that type of post than something where someone has to write a book to answer you, right? Or maybe it's an answer that they don't want to give publicly.
Right.
So just realize that there are times where even if you have a big community, people are not engaging. And just keep trying. Just keep trying different methods. Do this or that kind of thing.
Yeah. Giveaways are a good way to get them to, say, hey, like we had one where we needed, we wanted people to submit some questions that would be used somewhere else. And we were like, you know what? We're going to give you one of the brand new Streamyard plush ducks, which we're going to give away later today. So by submitting a question, and that got people going, ooh, but that's brand new. I want one of those. It's the new hot item. So it's something simple that we could offer to get what we wanted and what we needed from the community to help us.
Yeah. So
Nathan's asking, who controls the lower thirds while you do the show? I do on mine. Some shows will have a producer, which is super helpful. Or for instance, like our Learn with StreamYard, it's myself and Christian who run the show. So we've got two of us. And again, like we'll take turns, who's running what. But that's kind of just part of it is whether you have a producer or you're doing it yourself, and you kind of learn to multitask it or not. I think Jennifer does it herself on your guys' show.
Yeah, she does it herself. And when I use StreamYard for trainings in the group, because what we do is one of the things is we have an agency perk where we partner with a different company, like we just did StreamYard, and we have you come in and do a special training for our group. And we use StreamYard when we do that, and it's super easy to use, which is what I love about it, right? A lot of you know that, but some of you might not know that.
So, Jay Vlog, I cannot model the duck yet because I don't even have my own. It's that new of an item. However, I will show you a picture, and let's see. I'll go ahead and you guys can start popping them in. And don't worry about, we'll get all your entries, but this is what the little duck looks like, Puddles. So we've got the new Puddles plush, and I mean, he's so adorable. I can't wait to get one of my own. Yeah, so that's what you'll see, and that's what we're giving away. And you guys can begin to start to put them in, but we'll keep talking while we're going. But you can put in the hashtag #LoveStreamYard, and that'll get you entered in with our giveaway.
Well, and I see Timothy saying something about trying to develop some show swag. So if I could give a hint on that, I'd love to be able to do that.
Go for it.
I love Puddles, and I'm so happy for that. But if you are first starting out and you want to have show swag, think about making it easy to mail. Because if you do a coffee mug, because you think, oh my gosh, I want to have this amazing cup, mug or glass or something, that postage on that is much higher than if you were to do stickers or pins or something that was flat. So think about that as you roll that out.
Exactly. And oftentimes you can find those companies that can do the on-demand swag. So you don't have to have like a huge inventory kept, which will help you as you're getting started. As you become a bigger company, you may be able to have that option of that, swag inventory using a company. But that on-demand swag will save you as you're getting started.
But that swag goes with my mixed drinks theory for the fun, right?
Yeah. So Otoma, it's really going to depend on finding when your audience is live and the most interactive. And you may have to tweak it a little bit. You may go, you know what, I want to go Monday afternoons, but Monday afternoons are just not working for my audience. I need to pick a different time and start to kind of adjust it a little bit. And then from there, know that even though you're going to get live viewers, you're going to get the majority of your viewers from the replay. Generally. I won't say always, but generally that's where the majority of your viewers are going to come from. But kind of finding that right time. So John says, it's hard to keep up with groups, but I feel like if you take a few minutes just reading posts in your group to keep up with topics and subjects. So I think that's a good question. How much time should you be spending in your group to keep it growing and keep it building each day? What should you allot for that?
It's okay. That's a question you can't really answer very easily because it depends on the size of your group. I think the idea is consistency, which I've said multiple times for multiple things. I feel like I'm playing the record over again. But and if I could just make a suggestion, if you feel like there's a lot going on and you just really want to focus on your group, what I do is I make a bookmark in my Chrome browser that is specifically for the group. And so instead of going to Facebook and like trying to look that way, I go directly to that bookmark and then I go directly into the group. And then I admin in the group. So I make comments. Don't go into a group and spend like an hour making straight comments. It's much better to break that hour up over the 5 minutes or 10 minutes over the day and make some comments and then pull back. Make some comments and pull back.
Yes.
Because what it will do is it like juices the algorithm so that it brings that post up to the top. If you go in and you're just like, thanks, great to talk to you. Oh, I love that. It's like too much and it doesn't work as great as if you were to go and slowly go in and add comments. The other thing I do is, which this is interesting, it's because you want to be there right away to answer a question. But I actually believe and follow the philosophy that I do not run to answer a question or a post immediately. I wait. If one of the agencies in our group, if it's like an emergency, which is not really an emergency, but like if it's something that's like they definitely need technical support,
something's broke,
I send them to technical support as quickly as possible. But if it's any kind of question that I know that I can answer, but let's say it's somebody that's wanting to know how someone else uses our software or platform, I don't answer. I let the community answer and then I pop in and answer.
Yeah.
And I'll frequently even go into a post where the community has helped each other and be like, oh my gosh, you guys, I love that you're helping each other. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think there's a lot of value in letting the members start to answer before you jump in. And that way they know that they're helping and they're being beneficial, but then you can come in as the Agora Pulse team member or, in our case, the Streamyard team member.
Exactly.
And jump in and be the voice of the company, but really giving the community that power to build each other up and help each other. Yeah, so like I totally agree with you. And it's to get back to the actual question, a smaller group, it may be 10 minutes a day. It may be 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes at night. It sort of depends on when your audience is active also. That's another good thing about just popping in at various times. Or it might be that you're spending more time because there is a lot of engagement. So it's a little hard to give an exact answer on that. No, I totally understand. Do you have any other tips before we kind of start to go into our contest? I want to hear what other suggestions you have.
Because I think one of the struggles is when you start to have a community, especially a Facebook community, is that it's like crickets. And you feel awkward because you've posted and no one said anything, and you post again and no one says anything. So my trick for that is that I get a friend and I bring my friend into the group and I say, look, I need you to interact with me in this group, right? I call it being a seat filler, like at the Grammys or the Emmys or whatever, like you bring the seat filler in that comes into the group and maybe bring 2 or 3 of them into your group. And they comment on things that you say, or they like something, or they'll ask an appropriate question. Yeah. Then that gets the juices flowing in the group. And then people were like, oh, okay, look, people ask questions here. People comment here. This is okay. And this is really about creating that culture. And that's one of the first steps of trying to do that. Yeah. So hopefully that helps.
I think that is an amazing tip. And we've done that. I've had a post even in our community, which our community is huge, that has just had the crickets chirping, and you're going, I really need some activity on this because this is something I do need some people talking and answering those questions.
Exactly, getting the
So
feedback more.
I will message some of our super active users that I've developed a good relationship with and say, hey, can you go jump on this post and just throw your opinion in there, because they're already very active in the community and the community sees them often. And so then it just is that natural organic feel of them starting to respond. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's almost like, you've invited the family over for dinner and you're like, okay, dinner's ready, and everybody nobody gets up to get in line. And you're like, somebody go get up and start, because nobody will start eating until the first person goes.
Exactly.
So it's kind of just getting it warmed up and getting it primed. And then people are like, oh, okay, I'll go answer this now.
Yeah, totally.
So Carrie says, we try to educate our fans and group members, viewers, to like and comment so the algorithm will show them our posts more often. Yes. Yeah. The more you can get the community interacting with the stuff as well, too, the more they're going to see it and see the notification, see it in their feed, versus having to go seek the group out themselves.
Well, and that's like building that group culture I was talking about, is that this is what we do in this group. This is how this group works.
Right.
If you want more of it and you like it, this is what you do.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to remind everybody, I'm going to put this up real quick, to post #love Streamyard. And by posting that, you are going to get the new Puddles plush. So we're excited to send that one out. Like I said, I don't even have it yet. I've got the Puddles pillow back there, but I don't have the plush yet. So it's that new. I'm super excited for it to come. What would be, let's see, if somebody had to really choose kind of their starting point, would you say starting a very niche topic group for their community, or starting a more broad to really get them going? Or what are your thoughts towards that?
I think starting something around one of the biggest pain points your audience has.
Ooh, good one.
Because they'll want to talk about it. And that's what you're hoping to have happen in a group. But I also think having for us, we built our Social Pulse community around our Social Pulse show, but it's also the spot where if you want to talk about anything social media, that happens. And so that's a very huge, broad topic, and it works great like that. Whereas the agency love group we have is very, very specific.
Yes.
It's not a public group. I do not create content and fun in there. It is but it's the go-to group if you need some, to interact with other agencies. It's the go-to group if you want to ask, not a tech support question, but like a technical question on how to do something. That's how we've built the group culture.
I think that's great. And it's kind of establishing the why for each group, the what is the purpose, and really knowing what the purpose of the group is going to help your group grow and develop the way you want it to develop.
Well, and we're looking at, for Social Pulse, we're looking at growth numbers and engagement. And for the agency, obviously that group is the growth of that group is built on the number of agencies that come to use our tool. And so we're looking at that number, but that number is not like something that I'm like, okay, we're going to, add 500 people to that. But what I'm expected and my goal is to try to keep the engagement level high in that group.
Yeah.
So that I'm putting quality things in there. I'm putting our blog posts that matter to agencies in there. I'm not putting other blog posts we write that doesn't matter to that audience. So put the right things in your right group, I think. And it's okay to have multiple groups.
Yes. Yeah. And that's something that we're hoping to have worked on soon ourselves as we build our team out and grow and have more of the support to do that. Yeah. Okay. With that, let's see. We've talked about Agora Pulse today. Yay. So this is where you can go and you can they've got the free plan now.
Yeah, we've got a free plan now. Which so exciting.
That is amazing. And then if they want to follow you, this is the best place to go follow Deb and to connect with you offline and to learn more about the Agorapulse communities. We should do the drawing then. So I'm going to pull up the drawing. Let's add that. And we have the new giveaway tool available.
Look at how fancy this is.
We're testing it out, so we're going to see how this works.
Oh my gosh!
I need like a drum roll sound though.
Yeah, you need like some sound that goes with this. We need Scott Ayers to join us with some sounds.
Okay, Dole Whip Dad, you are the winner. So
I love it.
Email us at marketing@streamyard.com and let us know on there that you won the Puddles plush on Livestream Impact today, and we will get that mailed out to you. Congrats, Dole Whip Dad. I love that. I love the Dole Whip at Disney World, so I'm like, that's what I'm thinking of when I see that. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for being here. I'm going to pull this down. Deb, I want to thank you for your insight on Facebook groups and community, and really that it's so important to build the strength of that community beyond just going live, talking to your audience live periodically, but to really create the strength that establishes that glue to that community.
Thanks for having me. It's been super fun to talk with you guys.
Yes, everybody have a wonderful Monday. Make good choices, and we will see you later in the week for, I think next up we have Ask StreamYard on Wednesday, I believe. We've got John saying, Christian said, fun show. John said, great show. So thank you, Deb. Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.